a mess. Oh, that's more mess. Stop showing all my mess. It's fine. What y'all see back here? A gecko. Yeah, I know. It's a mess. It's just gonna be what it is today. Let me see if I tilt this up. There we go. Then I'm like, I'll barely be in the frame. It's fine. Hey everybody. So a few days ago, Sahakio came out with the belts that felt like there was some kind of restriction on it and it was being lifted, and I was like, well, I hope humanity is ready because I don't listen. I don't know if we is or not, but I guess it don't matter. So I was like, Eve, hi. Also, I'm like, very tired. I was watching your live and like at one point I was like almost asleep. It was very soothing and comforting. I already put them up. I was like, I should grab some tea leaf fortune cards. Hey, Willow Pillow. But I already put them up, so. And so so was it last night? I was like, I should get a personal from Eve. And I did, and it was amazing. So thank you. And then I sent Reem a message. I was like, Reem, like, you got fairy cards. Like, can you see like what comes out in the fairies? And she did. And she actually got, I'll show you, because I was like, oh my gosh. Let me see. I was like, this makes sense. Right in the middle. Right in the middle of all these cards. Can you see that? The Lady of the Harvest. I was like, what? And then that feast card came out. You should have been a hypnotist. You should have been. I mean, it's not too late. And I tried to find the little thing that I put on my table so y'all don't hear all the click, clack, attack as I'm shuffling and doing whatever, but I don't have it today. It's a bare surface. And I was going to use my laptop webcam, but I guess I decided not to do that. So I'm going to pull Sahaki out of the Angelarium. I guess I'll pull the card before and after him. Hey, Skywaltress. And then I'll pull the Gate of Sahakiel out of the Year 2 Angelarium. And then we'll see. So, yeah, the Harvest Fairy. I was like, oh, that reminds me of the feast. And some other stuff came out. Reemy. Hey, Reem. Right? So I'm just like, I need to let me breathe. Just let me breathe before I go into this so I can try to clear my mind of all of the whatever. But spirit, the universe, and I guess the fairies and the she, everyone's like proven to me how magical the universe is. And I'm like, thank you. First of all, first and foremost, thank you. Because your girl's been blessed. And by your girl, I mean me. Um, I went back to work today. It was fun. Um, it was a good time. Where my Twizzlers go? These are my comfort food. Okay. I'm gonna, oh yeah, I'm breathing. I'm gonna release my inhibitions. I'm just like, are we ready for this? And then I guess I'm over here in my own little world in reality doing all the things that I'm doing. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised when certain messages start to come out. And maybe, hey, Steph. How are you doing today? Um, Maybe it does us more good than I would necessarily think, just to be aware. And I guess that's something that Russell said in the Calling All Retroheads video. Towards the end of the video, he's like, just to have that awareness of a shift or a change before it happens could be enough to like do whatever, right? And I guess that's one of the things about being human that isn't necessarily always in our benefit. I think sometimes we're asked to make choices and decisions, and we don't even necessarily know what we're choosing or what all of our options are, right? It was so long. If you could hear the resistance that I was in before we sat down to do that, and he was like, and if we don't like it, we don't have to post it. He was like, I could always do it by myself later. And I'm just like, why? Why can't we just like sit down and be like, have no plan, no topic, and just whatever is going to happen is going to happen? Why not make this easy for me? One day at a time is there's somebody that I work with, and every day I'm like, well, every day I see him, I guess I'm like, hey, how are you doing? And he's like, I'm here. I'm here. Today, he said he was okay. I was like, what? You're okay today? You're more than just here? And he was like, yeah, I guess things are going pretty swell. I was like, I'm glad to hear it. But sometimes being here or being there is a lot. It's a lot to just be here. So I'm also glad to, you know, hear that and see that as well. Right? Yeah. I know it started with the move, and hopefully, though, October will be a lot better as we come into the season of balance before a season of transformation in Libra Scorpio. Excuse me. I did feel kind of bad for Mars by the end of it, though. Maybe I'll just talk. Maybe I won't pull it. I'm just gonna eat my Twizzlers and my Pokemon Oreos. And it was already 8:33. All right, let me get started. It's almost my bedtime. We didn't even have a lot of work at work today, which was really cool. I went in. I guess my boss's boss. She was like, "You just got back, and she's already working you, huh?" We were working with something like really, really, really messy today, and we didn't make a mess. So I feel like that's saying something. It was a dye. She was like, "It looks purple, but it's actually blue." That's interesting. It looks purple, but it's actually blue. It's almost like we may think it's some kind of like crowny type stuff, but it's actually like third eye. I know it's a deep blue, so it wasn't like a throat blue, but and I guess the difference is it's confirmation. Almost like a confirmation bias, which is why we see things the way that we see them or experience them the way that we experience them. But anyway, the dye was cut to a minimum. I came back not blue. And then we were talking to this other guy upstairs who used to do it. And he was talking about, excuse me, he was talking about how sometimes he would come back just like blue. And it made me think of Big Fat Liar, or when he got in the pool and then he came out blue. Shout out to Amanda Bynes back in the day. Also, you did a really good job shuffling those cards, Eve. I am terrible at shuffling that deck. I think it's also because I try to do the whole deck at once. Even when I'd split it in half, I was still bad at shuffling it. Okay. I see Barbio, the Angel of Scorpio, at the top of the deck. Barbio, the Angel of Scorpio, it's about those times where we have to take action, where words just aren't going to do it. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, I just saw 1111 on the runtime. Zadkiel, Angel of Mercy, Dayat, Emptiness. I think I like that energy. They are. They're a lot smaller. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Leliel, Angel of the Night. Who was the angel that came out before? Who did I see? I don't know. It almost feels though like a lot is being done on our behalf in ways that we can't even see. And this is the Angel of Scorpio. Scorpio is the next zodiac season. I haven't watched it. I still gotta finish the Green Man mandala and the live, and yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, it's the Angel of the Mists. And then the Angel of Aquarius. Who at the bottom? Armoros, the Angel of Undoing. This it feels like this is the angel that put up the veil. Chazakiel is the angel that was stuck in between because he couldn't make a decision. And then we have the angel of Aquarius. I don't know in what way it's happening. I don't know what it's going to mean, but it feels like the veil is about to lift. And that's when I'm like, is humanity ready for a veil that ain't like, are we ready for all of that? And I guess, I mean, we'll see. Oops. Because it's almost like everything up until like this more and more and more Aquarian age is in the mist. And then the angel of Aries is down here. So it could be like a new cycle. Reem was like, I don't recall. Like, I wasn't actually there. I was there, but like I was here and not there. Like when Russ is like, I'm not really here. I know I look like I'm here, but I'm not. Well, we got either submission or mercy. We'll say mercy. Well, see, this is interesting though. So here's Sahakiel, right? Here's the gate of Sahakiel. Here's Sahakiel. Here's Sahakiel's gate. The gate of the sky, I guess. Because Sahakiel is the angel of the sky. So to the left of Sahakiel, before Sahakiel, with Chazakiel, is Raziel, angel of mysteries. So we have the angel of mysteries with the angel of the mists. Makes sense, right? And then on the other side, with the angel of Aquarius, is Dayat, the void. And I think the void came out for Pisces on Rob's channel, but I need to go back and watch that. Because I was like coming home from the store and like my phone was still on my ear. So before it was all mysteries and the mists. Now it's Aquarius, but it's void. It feels like it's to be filled. Almost. But maybe not. What deck should I go to? I almost want to grab these other angels. Oops. And then my Archangel power cards are those are put away. So I'm not gonna grab those, but I can grab these. I guess. Sure. Ooh, what was that? Bad feelings when you hear the sign Aquarius. What? Why? Age of Aquarius is supposed to be heaven on earth, according to like literally everybody, but we'll see. Because we are humanity. We've got choices. All right. Hold up. Here we go. I have noticed that water dreams aren't the same as they used to be for me. Oh, okay. So before, after. Maybe I should have used a different deck. I will do my best. Angels, y'all's gonna have to work with me because we'll see. Okay, there we go. There we go. Bottom of the deck is the Hierophant Haziel. Divine forgiveness obtains friendship and favors of the great, secures promises. Interesting. Under that is the Knight of Pentacles. Light of understanding acquires knowledge and cures illnesses. I'll leave these here. I want to put some raw runes on this. So on one side, it's Nehemiah. On the side of the mists and mysteries, it's number 57, Seven of Pentacles, discernment, general prosperity, and the deliverance of prisoners. And there's a lantern here that Nehemiah is carrying. But I feel like like Nehemiah is doing this thing. It's almost like Nehemiah is showing us that we can't actually touch the flame that's inside of that lantern. Like there's a glass there that prevents contact. And it reminds me of that song, Dear God, by I don't even remember who. But there's a part where they're like, what keeps you out, it keeps me in. I think it was like, Dear God, I'm trying hard to reach you. Which part is that? And I've been breaking it down without an answer. I know I'm thinking aloud, but if your love's still around, why do we suffer? Let me see. I don't know. He's like, you can look, but you can't touch. Right? And then in Raziel is holding the book of Angelarium, I guess, and he's also making this shh noise. Right? You see him holding the book, and then he's like, shh, don't tell nobody. Well, are we coming out of this? Because maybe like Raziel's like, okay, you can take a peek in the book, you can take a peek, but don't tell nobody. Because Chazakiel is still in the middle, it's still in between. So it's almost like we have a man on this side, or an angel, I guess, on this side of the veil. There's the energy of an informant, and my camera is just not going to focus now. It's fine. Ooh, excuse me. I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. Well, I don't know if we can rewrite in this book. Or is he? Raziel's wings are made of paper. See, and then you see like the roots of the tree on the bottom. This Chazakiel says, this place that is somewhere in the middle. Where can I go if I am denied flight? How can I stay if I am denied presence? These questions fill the night air, crowding my wings and obscuring the light. But I know I am not the fog, but I also know that I am. I love how blurry I am. It almost reminds me a little bit of Icarus. Well, it reminds me of Daedalus. Icarus was the flying too close to the sun, but there was nothing wrong with. Yeah, it's that song, Willow Pillow. There's nothing wrong with like the wings that Daedalus made. Icarus just flew too high, and the sun melted the wax that held the wings together, which is why Icarus plummeted. And it's almost like, if you would have stayed in your lane, Icarus, we would have been fine. And I'm using oh gosh, you don't need to see my palm that clearly. I'm using like YouTube, I'm not using OBS or a Logitech cam, so I can't like do anything to adjust it. So sorry. And maybe that's the energy of discernment because it's almost like this bird in front of Chazakiel will lead him out of the fog, but these other birds are like manifestations of the fog itself. Nah, it's not you. I blame Scott. I'm just playing. Now everyone's vision is blurry. Ah, thanks, Reem. I'll send you a picture so you don't have to imagine. I'm kidding. So on the other side with Dayat and Aquarius, it's the Two of Wands and the King of Cups. Raquel or Roquel and Jeliel. Oh my gosh. Look at the after this energy of like you can look but you can't touch, like the veil is up, don't get too close. And then look at this. This is all over that angel. I'm like, oh my gosh, show some modesty, some decency, some restraint. This is restitution. Finds stolen objects and discovers the person responsible. God seeing everything. King of Cups. Oh goodness, what is happening in this card? What is happening in this card? That's how close to spirit we're going to be able to get. The second card is Jeliel, Two of Wands, the helping god. Love and wisdom, victory over those who would attack you. And this is one of the angel cards where nothing is in red. It's like, give that angel a break. See, but Dayat is here, and Dayat is emptiness. And Zadkiel, Angel of Mercy, is at the bottom of the deck. But I think Zadkiel, it's basically like he buys out your spiritual karmic debt or whatever, but then offers you penance in some way. Divine forgiveness obtains friendship and favors of the great, secures promises. Haziel doesn't have anything red on it either. And Haziel looks very much like Jeliel. And it's interesting that Haziel is the Hierophant because with the angel, the eagle, the lion, and the bull, that's world card energy. It's in the world card where you see all the fixed signs. All the fixed signs is like Saturn. The world is Saturn. Oh, I'm back. It's clear again, I guess. Hazio fixed it. I don't know what this is. I feel like maybe it's this energy. Maybe that's what Dayat is. Maybe Dayat is like it's a blank slate. All that was is now void. It's null and void. And so we essentially get to start over, no longer necessarily bound to everything that we were bound to in the past. It's that thing that Corey says. It's something like all debts are paid and something, something. But it's interesting because it's almost like, well, you could hear them better if they were further away. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Mmm. Gotcha stuff. Okay. Keeter the Crown came out. I was like, let me pick up this deck and see if there's an angel here that'll help me. Keeter the Crown, it's the space of things that basically can't be understood. Hey Shayna, how are you doing? See, but Dayat has a crown too. I don't know what this is. I mean, it feels like the veil is lifting in some way. The slate is being wiped clean in some way, and it's almost like being given a second chance to do it right. But the thing about being given a second chance to do it right is that, like, all of our knowledge, all of our knowing, all of our experiences, we still have. Now, having those experiences is a double edged sword. On one side of having those experiences, it's like us not making the mistakes that we made in the past. And so we get to choose an entirely new experience. On the other side, it's like even though we're in something new, even though the slate has been wiped clean, in our world, mind, and perception, it hasn't. So we continue on. It's like we rewrite what was already written rather than taking that opportunity to write something new. And maybe that's what happens as we transit from age to age or epoch to epoch. And then I guess in that way, it's like the veil resets. And depending on our choices and decisions, the veil either lifts more and more and more and more, or the veil lowers more and more and more and more. Ooh, I'm hooking rather than cutting. I don't think I have a deck that's going to help me, but I have these Dysology cards. We'll see. I have the sound of Corbin just like stuck in my head. It's playing over and over and over and over and over. If you know what the sound of Corbin is, then you know. If you don't, then ooh, that came out quick. What's on this side? Oh, there we go. What's on this side? The Two of Hearts. We already have the Two of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the King of Clubs and the Four of Clubs. Michaelmas. I've never heard of Michaelmas. Happy Michaelmas. If it's a happy thing. If it's not a happy thing, then I don't know what I would say. This is so weird. So on the mysterious, misty side, it came out with the Nine of Diamonds, an accurate depiction of true to life tale, liquid light that carves its way through night. And it has the sun, the moon, Capricorn, the solar plexus twice, and the element of water. Yeah, light a candle for yourself. I know that. Shout out to Everlong Missed It. So on the side where everything was like, where there was a veil and everything was mysterious, it's like, it's an accurate depiction. It's a true to life tale. Maybe it's just this energy of like, it was what it was. And I think a lot of practice seemed to be making something what it wasn't. It's like creating a veil of our own making and seeing the world through that so that we can filter out the things that we don't necessarily want to see. Which did nothing to actually remove them from the world, but it did a lot, maybe, to keep us from noticing it until you have no choice but to. And then you're like, I thought I already did this. And it's like, did you though? Or did you think, I ain't even got to go there. And on the other side, it's being between worlds, a vision brought to life, choices that require foresight and communication. Now, this one has air, the third eye, the sacral, Aquarius, the Lovers, and a number that I gotta look up. And the Two of Realms. So we have the energy of the Two of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. But I didn't know that either. September 29th is Michaelmas. Now, the cards at the bottom of the deck, it's where feminine and masculine meet, the conception of innocence, nesting, and preparation, as well as understanding the unseen, grasping the subtle in a sacred vessel. See, that sacred vessel is interesting. It's also interesting because both of these cards have a very similar layout, but it's like in this one, the two are here. On this one, they've dropped down. I said I was going to grab the runes and I grabbed these. LOL. There is something here. With the sacred vessel, I want to say it's an energy of like having a shopping cart, taking it into the void, filling it up, and then bringing it back to this side. It reminds me of the Scarab Beetle, where the high priestess was sitting in between the light and the dark, and the Scarab Beetle was bringing things from the void to this side so we could see them to almost like draw us into the void. Or the Scarab Beetle is like your Uber Eats or your whatever delivery service. Like you send out or whatever, the Scarab goes into the void and it gets it for you. The vessel is the shadow. Hey, Holly. But in the UK, they call fall semester Michaelmas term. That is all news to me. The vessel is the shadow. It's like shadow is the cup, light is the liquid. If you have a bigger cup, you can hold more water, right? I feel like that nesting energy came out recently. I was talking about like baby proofing stuff. I don't remember when or where it came out. I don't remember if it was in the Retroheads video. I only watched like half of it myself. I still got to go back and finish the rest. Maybe that's why the slate is being wiped clean in some way as well. But it's almost like when a teacher is teaching on the board, if you don't have it written down before they erase the board, you might lose something that you have to repeat or not. The card that turned over face down is stripped bare, a game of charades, a day with no mirrors. And it's the Nine of Clubs. And it's interesting because, again, it's similar. Like the dice fell out in all kinds of different configurations, but all three of these are pretty similar in appearance. There's two on the left, four in the middle, and one on the and one on the right in like all of these. And they're all clubs. 13 clubs and the king being the 14th. Well, since there's only like the jack, the queen, and the king, then the king is actually 13 here. So we have 13 clubs twice. What is this? Still getting a room. Oops, let me put this here. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Gosh, oh gosh. Why is the sound of Corbin stuck in my head? No. Oh, 1 second. Feast. There's that feast energy again. So Michaelmas, the feast of saints or archangels, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. The feast of the archangels or the feast of Saint Michael and all angels. 29 September. In some denominations, a reference to a fourth angel, usually Uriel, is added. Eve, what's up with all this feast energy today? Oh gosh, that's a lot. What's up? What's up? Oh, gosh. Oh snap! Wait, what? And then Ing, of course, Ing is at the bottom of the deck. Why wouldn't Ing be at the bottom of the deck? Ing is everywhere. I was like, what is Ing? And of course, I thought I know, but I'm like, surely the water metal isn't here. So Was is sap impassioned, right? And I feel like the sap is always rising because every time I hear a Russ talk about the sap, it's rising. There's a 10 and an 11 here. 46, 10, 74, 11. So the sap is rising up, and directly behind Was is Edverstan to burst out to free. And then it's almost like this one would be like rising up and then it busts out of this. And then this yellow line like flips open and I don't know, something happens. Soul Family is about to feast in caps. So after the sap rises, then there's the burst 3 energy. There's Kusma, the moon. Oh, you can't see it. Kusma, the moon, right? With Needle, 69 and 39. And then there's the sun, Sigil, or Sigil, sun life force. See, but that's the thing I was saying, where the shadow is the vessel for the light. Because it's almost like the moon is used to stitch something together that can hold life force. It's the vessel, the sacred vessel. It's a vessel for or a vessel of life force. And then the last card is you, Ao. It's the sacral. Tacos, tacos, tacos. It's kind of late. Rob might be asleep. I was scrolling and I said, "Is that what? Who?" And like Rob's voice coming out of his face, it took my brain a second to like connect the dots. I was like, "Whoa, wait, tacos, 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 Guinness, and oh, it's not. Oh, you was 13. We have a 13. Where's 12? There's no 12. It goes 10, 11, 13. Well, 10, 11, moon, stitch, sun, 13. Good night, Steph. Sleep well. See, this is that edge of the sword where it's like the knowledge of the past empowers us to create a better, brighter future. The knowledge of yesterday helps us find a lighter tomorrow. Or we could be on the other edge of the sword where we take all of our yesterdays into today and tomorrow, and that is what we present to the world, the universe, spirit, other people, your environment, in whatever way to fill up, and you get more of the same. It feels like the life force is flowing in either way, and there's an opportunity to like burst free before or as it's happening. And again, like that's why I think the angel of mercy is here. He's taking it on. I keep looking at this angel of Aries. Angel of Aries, angel of Leo, angel of storms. Oof. The moment before we act, there must be an impulse to begin. Sometimes this force comes from our sometimes this force comes from our own will, and sometimes it seems to arise from nothing. From the abyss, Malahi Dial emerges, bringing with it the strength to enact change. We are close to this angel whenever we take action. It is the power to be present in the moment and the wisdom to prepare for the future. There is always danger in its presence, but more hardship without it. Speaking of a time of action, see, and I don't know, there's this energy. It almost feels like Malahi Dial is. What? There's a sun and a moon here. You see that? There's the sun, there's the moon. And then the angel of Leo. As adversity washes against us, we rise with those waves. Each moment in our lives where we are challenged by the world, we challenge it back. To be bold and in control is the nature of Urkiel, the ruler. This sign brings with it the courage to bring shining light into a world that struggles against the darkness. And it feels like that's like what Malahi Dial is doing. You see the world of darkness behind him, and the light, I guess that comes from his crown. So maybe Keter is like our crown. Maybe this is our crown. This is that eight crown. It's that energy where we can transmit from the crown rather than receiving from the crown. And so we engage in this very, very subtle conversation with the universe around us rather than just receiving. So the moon would be receiving, the sun would be transmitting. And so we have to find a way to like switch it, because it's almost like if we continue to receive and receive and receive, then it's just going to press this further and further and further down. So there is some kind of something within us that is about to come online in a way where instead of us looking at the veil as something that we almost like it adds a different directionality to the veil. And maybe it's like when that other input is there, that's when the bridge forms and the veil collapses. And then, you get to be all up on whatever angel you want to, or not, consent and respect people's angels, everybody's boundaries. I don't know. Both Aries and Mars are both Aries and Scorpio are Mars ruled, because the angel of Scorpio was at the top of the deck when I started. And with this Ananiel, as the sun began to set, the boats turned to back towards the shore. All the while, Ananiel pleaded with them to stay. Ignoring him, the fishermen held to their course. Angered, the angel summoned the waves to do what his words could not. He wrenched their boats from their destination and pulled them until the land was lost to the horizon. And it's this energy of like, and see again, it's like it's well, I guess it's behind him, but it's some crowny something. It's like using whatever, using something else to do what one thing cannot. I I don't know. Cuz I really don't know. But that would be the vision brought to life, and true communication. Cuz true communication works both ways. Right? And that's this two of hearts. Being between worlds, a vision brought to life, choices that require foresight and communication. Good night, Reem. It's my bedtime too. I don't really like red vines. I eat red vines sometimes. I feel like I'm more in the mood for Twizzlers than I am red vines, but I can get down with the red vine every now and then, like sparingly. Look, even Zadkiel has something coming out of his crown. Malachi Dial's is red, Zadkiel's is like a bluish white. And they both have this thing behind them. See, there's something about like the crown, like piercing the veil. And then something else rides that back. Or it creates the bridge for something. But it's not to receive from the crown, it's to transmit from the crown. And that's what I got. Being the left eye, knowledge, Tiferet, heart, beauty. Okay. Well, I hope y'all have a good one, whatever, whenever you see this, and I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Because that, I mean, I don't know what more I could say about this. It just looks like it's like a beacon or like a bug zapper, and as it goes out, it just like attracts light to it. And I feel like a healed and resolved shadow, it gives us the space to hold things or accept things. And it's almost like a healed shadow becomes a void in a way, like a black hole, where it's able to pull light in. And it almost feels like the shadow is the first gate and the light is the second gate. Because once it pulls the light in, like once the black hole shadow or dark, it's dark and not the shadow. Once the black hole dark pulls the light in, it enters our internal light realm, where it then does whatever there. And it's like that's the space where we get to see it, but to attract it and to be able to like hold space for it, because it's almost like you could pull in something that it's like it has more mass than your black hole is able to um you know what I mean. And so while your black hole is trying to like suck it up, it collapses, and then everything just kind of sort of spills out. It's like it doesn't have the force to fully pull it in, and to try to is to cause it to collapse in some way. Yeah. And then with a light, it's just that like your light has to be bright enough to not be outshone by that which you call in. And I'm trying to figure out why. Because then it's like the space isn't your space, it becomes that thing's space. That's how sometimes it's like people can come into something and then it's like it takes them over or whatever. They get lost in it. They're no longer themselves or whatever. And that's why sometimes I think we can manifest things that we're not necessarily ready for. We manifest things that send us down a whole new dark night, or it sends us down like self doubt and questioning and stuff like that, feelings of like not being good enough for that, which, whatever. Because I was looking at his crown, Keter's, and it does feel like it's an energy of condensing, like of making things extremely dense. Because it's like it's compacting everything into something like smaller and smaller. right? Like crunching it up. Excuse me. So although it may look small, it's like it's packed. It's almost like zipping a file, I guess. And then we unzip it internally in the light. Because I guess the light is where it blooms and then it grows and expands more and more, like a tree or a plant. I thought I saw that. All right. That's what I got. That's officially it. So do with that what you are able to. Oh, snap. Behind ing. It's fine. That's what I got. No problem. If I guess it'll unpack as we go about our days and live our lives and do whatever. As it needs to be understood, it will be. In whatever way it shall be, I trust. So I am going to get ready to go to bed soon because it is late in my bedtime. So I will catch you all whenever I catch you next.